Now, y'all already know what it is. You're here for a good time, not a long time. So let's jump right into it. If you're new here, my name is Nadia. I'm the owner of ClickPop Studio, and we are a colorfully loud creative agency for bold brands. And today, I'm going to show you how I created this promo video for my business using Canva. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so after seeing that video, I do want to say brace yourselves because this is going to be a long one. That particular video in Canva took about 51 slides just to complete. Now, your video does not have to be that long. I waited to build this video well after I've created a ton of work. So this type of video is good for boosting promotion for your business, and it's like a sports highlight reel for your services. You definitely want to make sure you have your best work in there. So before we get started, you're going to need a few things. Number one, you're going to need a Canva account. It's free, sign up for it, it's fun, I love it so much. This video is not sponsored, but I use Canva all the time, so there you go. Now, the next thing that you're going to need after you sign up for Canva is your company logo. You need to have that so that people know what they're looking at when the video starts. Who is this? Why am I watching it? The second thing you're going to need are your brand colors. My brand colors in that video are all throughout that video from beginning to end. It showcases the colorfulness of my brand. It shows the personality of my brand, and it shows a poppiness. It gives it character. So whatever your brand colors are, you need to know them so that you can have them to put in the video. Also in Canva, you can actually add your brand characteristics. It'll save in a little file. You can save your favorite font that you love to use on all of your social media, all of your branded work on Canva, as well as your brand colors, so that whenever you're building or designing something within Canva, it can always stay within your brand guidelines. The next thing you're going to want to need are taglines. You need any type of copy that you can find or muster up. You need call to actions. You need fun quotes that represent your services or the personality of your brand, so that you have different call outs to pop in the different slides when we're going in and out of visuals. You're also going to need a list of services. What do you do? How many services do you have, and what do those services entail? You need to have a full list of that. So again, we can put that on different slides so that your ideal client that's viewing that video can have the best understanding of who you are, what you do, and why you do it, and how you can do it for them. Now, the last thing that you're going to need is content. Whether it's images or video, you need content, and you need a lot of it. You need variety. So again, like I said, your video doesn't have to be as long as mine, but you need a substantial amount of content in order to show, number one, the quality of your work, the range, as well as just the different colors, textures, editing techniques, all of that. You need to have that. Again, this is like a sports highlight reel for your business. This is used so that you can promote business, increase engagement, and just really sell who you are, what you do, and why you do. Now, my promotional video that you saw earlier is everywhere. It's on my social media, it's on my website, it's even in the packages that I send to potential clients when they're ready to view my services. Having a video like this is a game changer when it comes to really selling your professionalism. It shows that you are very detail oriented. It shows that, again, you know what you're doing, you love what you do, and it's an eloquent way to show, again, your brand personality. It's all about selling that personality of your brand as well as you, so that when you speak to your potential client, they already have an understanding of who you are, what your business does, and they're excited to work with you because you grab their attention. Not everybody has promotional videos. Not everybody needs promotional videos. So having this is like the icing on top of the cake. Going that extra mile could land you that ideal job over a competitor. So it's always good to play around and develop little things like this to really boost your business. Now, the last thing you're gonna need after compiling everything that we talked about on that list is to upload all of your content on Canva. All of your images, all of your videos, as well as your logos if you have it. So now that we've gone through that list of essentials that you'll need in order to design and build out your promotional video, let's jump into Canva. Okay, so now that we're in Canva, you're getting a glimpse at what the dashboard looks like. If you're new to Canva and you've never checked this out, this is what your dashboard would look like. Now, I won't scroll too far because there are a lot of things I'm working on that nobody needs to see but me, but I just wanted to give you a glimpse of what it looks like. So in Canva, you're going to want to create a video. We have a lot of different options of content that we can create here on Canva, but what we're going to be doing is creating a video. So you can go ahead and click on video to see all, and it'll give you different versions of video templates that you can click on to begin building out your video. So we're not going to click on any of this, but I did want to show you what you could do once you're on here. So I'm going to exit out of this because I've already made a duplicate of the video that you saw in the beginning. I just cleared out all the images so that we can build it from scratch. So let's click on that and then get started. Now that we're in the video file, you're able to see all of the frames that represent each page that goes in and out of the video. Some frames are longer than others, and that represents the length of time each frame is on screen before it disappears. Now, a lot of these frames are in different colors because they represent the transition between each of my brand colors, and I'll explain that later once we go down the line. Now, editing in the timeline feature is a little difficult for me, so I'm going to go down here and click on the scroll view. So once we click on that, we can do things page by page. So I really love Canva. It's very easy to use. They also have tutorials that really show you how to use each function and how to create different pieces of content. So definitely check that out if you need that extra help. Okay, so we have the first page that says click. Now, if I click on this little window pops up, and I could change the color of this. If I click on that color wheel, I could change the color of this page to anything that I want. Now, remember earlier when I said that you can add your brand style guide information into Canva? This is where this information is. It says brand kit, and these are the brand colors that I picked out for my particular brand. Now, these colors can be anything. You don't really need as many as I have. I just like this range and I like this number, so there you go. So I want to show you how you can animate something in Canva. So as of right now, we have the first word of my logo, which is click. Now, I typed this out, but again, this could be a PNG or JPEG of your logo. Once you click on it, this window pops up and there's the box up here that says animate. Once you click on that, you can scroll through and hover over each box, and it shows you all the different animation variations that you can place on this particular word. Now, you can either do the word or you can do the full-on page at the top. So by page, again, if you scroll, that one word or that one item on that page will move in unison. So this is going to come into play later on down the line when we start adding images as well as text as well as graphics throughout the different frames. Now, because my brand is very poppy, it even has the word pop in the name, I'm going to be using the pop animation throughout the entire video. So the pages are going to pop, the words are going to pop, all of the movements of most of the items in my video are just going to have that poppy, slidey, bouncy aesthetic to them because that's the personality of my brand. It's very fun, it's very poppy, and it's energetic. Now, it's up to you to decide what your brand identity is and what your brand personality is, but this is mine and this is just what I like to do. So for the click, again, we're going to go to animate and then I'm going to scroll down to the pop. Now, when you click on that, it'll give you options to pop both on the incoming of the slide and the outcoming, meaning it'll pop when the slide pops up and then it'll pop again when the slide is about to move to the next image or the next slide. Now, depending on how you want your slides to transition, you may only want certain things in your slides to move once and then move on to the next, or you may want them to move twice, or you may want them to move when it's transitioning out. So this comes into play when you have things sliding in and out, appearing and disappearing and reappearing. It's not complicated at all. It depends on what rhythm you want within the movement of the video. So because I'm creating a transition of Click Pop Studio, I need to create 3 different slides. And so if I have the word click moving on one slide, It's already there, it's appeared. So on the next slide, that click is not gonna have an animation. The pop is gonna have an animation. And then when we get to the third slide, click and pop are gonna stay still, and then studio is gonna have an animation. And then we're gonna go to the fourth slide when everything is together and then it moves. That's a transition that I wanted to create just to add a little fun to the entire logo. And so now you can see why the entire video is around 50 slides, because each movement that I planned for my content to have, I really had to think about how to spread it across. So it's almost like each movement required its own page or page and a half. So again, your video doesn't have to be as long as mine. It took this many frames for my video because I wanted something specific to happen to each frame. So don't be overwhelmed with the amount of work I'm showing you in this video. I just want to show you how you can create a dynamic video of your own. Again, you can use this information to build out your own more simplified template, but this is just what I did. Now, will I create another video like this in the future? Maybe not as extensive, but the beauty of Canva is once you build it once, you can always duplicate it, change a few things here and there, or add to it, and then you have a new video. You don't have to start from scratch all over again, because everything that you create can become a template for something else. So we have click, that has a pop, but I also think that I want it to tumble. Like I want it to tumble in. And so I'm gonna click both of those animations, and I think I just want that on enter, because again, I don't want it on exit. So if that word is coming in and I click both for the animation to tumble in and out, when it moves to the next slide, it's not gonna make sense if click is standing still. So I want it to come in and stop and then be stationary in that next slide. So I want it to pop and then tumble. So that's what we're gonna do. I think I also want some graphics on here because it's a little bit boring. So to find graphics, you wanna go to elements, and you can really type in anything in this section. I really like nice organic shapes. So when I found this speech bubble, I was very drawn to it. I really like the shape of it, and I wanted to go with it for some silly graphics for my promo video. Now, as of right now, it's a teal blue, and I don't like that. So I think I'm gonna turn this yellow, my yellow brand color. And so I'm gonna scooch it off to the side, maybe make it a little bit bigger. Maybe I'll just go ahead and turn it just so that it is where I need it to be. Okay, let's get that angle where we want it. Okay, so I like that. So we had that graphic there, and then we added another graphic. These little fat stubby sunshine lines. So because the first graphic is so curvy, these were very perfect because they already came with a natural arch. Now I just kind of situated them above there, and then that was it. Now I'm going to change that to pink because I think the pink really pops with the yellow. And then I'm going to repeat the process. I'm putting this in the lower left-hand corner, but I want something up here as well. So I'm just going to copy everything and duplicate it. And then I'm just going to turn it around and pop it up in that corner. Pop it up in that corner, and there we go. Yeah. Now, what we can do is animate these graphics. I'm gonna add a pop and tumble in as well. So let me go to pop there. Let's have that. Let's have it on enter. And then let me do that one for that as well on enter. Oh no, let's do both in and out. Okay, both in and out. And for the squiggly lines, I think I want them to wiggle. So let's get some wiggling going on. Click on those wiggle animations. There we go. And once you make your selections, you'll see the animation happen in real time so that you can see what's really going on. Okay, cool. I really like that. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so again, these first few slides I pre-made just so that I wouldn't have to go and find the logos or type them in, because I did customize the pop, and that took a little bit of time and I didn't really want to go through all of that. So here we are. So as of right now, again, the click is stationary. So if we transition to this next slide, click is stationary, and then the pop has the animation to it. So when we click on that and we click on the animation, I think the pop works for that, because there's another one on here, I believe it's called Stomp. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's a little bit too much. So we're gonna stick with pop on enter. I'm gonna click on that. Oh, okay, and so on this page, we also need the graphics. So I'm gonna go ahead to that first page and I'm gonna select both of these graphics. I'm just gonna copy and paste them and put them on the next slide. And they'll land right where they're supposed to be. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. I'm gonna do the same. I'm just going ahead and copy. I'm just gonna paste those graphics just so they show up. They're gonna show up with the animation that you already have. If you don't want the animations, all you have to do is go to the animate section, the section window, and click on clear animations, and it'll take all the animations that you created off of those selected items. So now that we are on that final slide of Studio, for the animation, I'm gonna have skate. And so you're gonna see basically what that looks like, again, when you hover. So each word has its own fun animation. And again, it works with the personality of my brand. So I wanted the click to come in as if it was clicking or stomping down on something or clicking on a mouse. I wanted the pop to actually pop. And then for Studio, I wanted something a little bit more elegant. So I have the tumble, I have the pop, and then I have the skate. Okay, and so I'm thinking I'm going to use that for in and out, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, let's keep it on that. I didn't mention, but you can also change the direction. So they could skate in to the left or in to the right. Now, I like it skating in to the left, so I'll leave it there. And then you also have the option to change up the way the letters show up in that animation, but I don't go that far. I didn't go that far. I just like the way the original animation looks, so that's what I went with. Okay, so now that we're done with that page, we have the Click Pop Studio all together. Now I did group these. They are all separate words that I typed out, but then I grouped it all together so that they can move as one animation. Again, if your logo is just a sign or one word or a few letters, you don't really have to follow these steps, but this is what I needed to do in order to get the movement that I wanted. So all together, since they're grouped, again, I can ungroup it so you can see what it looks like. All you have to do is select everything, and then that window pops up and it says group, and they're all grouped together. Now with everything grouped together, I want the logo to kind of pop and wiggle and then transition out. So I'm going to add on a few animations. So I'm definitely going to add, let's say, a tumble. I'm going to add that in there. I think I want it to tumble on exit. I'm going to add a rotate. I'm going to add a rotation so that as it's tumbling, it's leaning that way. I'm going to add on a pulse so that it does something, wiggles around, and then it exits. And then I'm going to add in a wiggle. So with all of those animations, it should dance around a little bit and then head on out of there. And then we'll transition to the next slide. So this was 4 slides just for the title alone. Again, this is why my particular video took around 50 slides, because each slide had something intricate going on. Again, yours does not have to be this complicated, but it got the job done because y'all saw the video in the beginning. Okay, so for the next slide, now that the logo is gone, I wanted to start a transition to a different color. So I brought back the graphic over here and I bumped it up in size just a little bit. And what I'm gonna do is over the next 2 or 3 slides, I'm gonna basically grow this graphic so that it covers 50 to 75 to 80% of the page until we get to another page that's full on yellow. So as of right now, this graphic doesn't have anything on it. So I'm gonna add a transition of the pan animation just so it kind of smoothly glides into screen, so that it doesn't just starkly pop into a white block. So it's gonna smoothly slide in on enter. And again, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna copy it, go to the next page and paste it. And then I'm gonna slide it and make it a little bit bigger. I'll say, yeah, that's good. It already has that pan animation to it on enter. So again, that's copied. And then I'm gonna copy that. And then I'm going to paste that on the 3rd page, and then I'm gonna make it even bigger so that it again covers more of the page. And so slowly but surely, you're seeing the transition of white to yellow. And so when we get to that fourth slide, it's already panned out and covered in that yellow. And so now we're ready to add more graphics or more images. So in looking at all three slides that we just completed, you're seeing the transition from white to yellow. And I wanted to do that just so, again, there's more flow and more movement throughout the video. So now I have a blank yellow page that's ready for me to add graphics or images to it, or just video content. Okay, so I think the first thing that I'm gonna do is add an image. And I'm going to add in a floral image. And I'm gonna put that to the left. Okay. And so I think I want to add an animation to that page. I think I want to add an animation to this image, but I think I want it to really like jump onto the screen. And so I'm going to go back and use that stomp feature. And I'll have that on enter so that it comes in and stays. Cool. And I think for the page, I think I just want to add a pop to the page. So I think I'll go and add an animation to just the full-on page. So when it transitions, there's movement to the page as well as the image itself. Now I'm going to copy this image, paste it on the next slide, and then I'm going to add another image on here. I think I'm going to add, I'm going to add this pop of color, this orange and blue image. I'm going to line that up. I think I'm also going to bring this image down. Okay, yeah, so I wanted a good lineup of top and bottom. I wanted to showcase open space and also movement. So the images aren't necessarily touching each other, but they're touching either the top or bottom of the frame. And I think that's cute. So for that new image that we added, I think that I'm gonna leave that animation as a pop. And then since we're on that second slide, I don't want the first image to have any type of movement. So I'm going in and removing that animation. So only the second image has some type of movement to it. So that's something that you have to pay attention to when you're moving in and out of different frames, especially when you're copying and pasting. You want to make sure that the animations make sense for whatever transitions that you're trying to create. So there's a lot of thinking through this process. There's a lot of like moving in and out, moving around, but you know, take your time with it. It is a little bit of a tedious process, but it's fun and you'll come out with a great video in the end. Okay, so since we already did a transition to yellow, I just wanted to start the rainbow transition of my brand colors. Since we started off with the graphics on the first page being yellow and pink, I want to follow up the transitional colors of the slides going from yellow to pink. And so the next slide we have is empty. I want to add a video. So let me go to uploads, and you have the image tab, you have video, and you have audio. So let me go to video and see if I can find, here we go. Now this is one of my favorite videos. It's a stop motion of me pretending to press one of the keys on my piano phone. Don't ask me why I have a piano phone, I just do. It's one of those things where you find something unique and you just have to buy it. Now, because this particular video has Dalmatian patterns and yellow, I think it'll be a nice pop on this pink, which is why I selected it. Now, I do want to add an animation to this video, so let me make sure it's centered. And so I think I may want to add an animation of pop and maybe wiggle. So I'll do the pop on both because I want it to pop and move and I guess transition out. Since we're going in and out of slides, some of the images, some of the content that I have on there, I do want it to move when it's coming in and leaving. And some of the images and content I want to not move at all. So again, you have to think through your transitions and think through how you want the flow of your video to be. So we added the pop, we left it on both in and out, and then I want to add a wiggle feature to it. So let me go ahead and click on that. So yeah, I really like that. If you just hover over it, you can see the pop as well as the wiggle. So that's really cute. Okay, so let's scroll down to the next page. We're on page 11 now, and I want to add in 2 images here. So let me go back to my uploads and let me click on the image tab. Now I want some pops of color, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and choose, again, something yellowish orange that really pops off of this pink. And then I think I wanna try maybe this green image. Again, you really wanna have a solid gallery of content that you can pick and choose from, because everything that you produce may not work up against your brand colors. Now, my particular brand colors are very vibrant. Now, luckily, I shoot a lot of colorful things, so I have a lot to choose from, but if I strictly stuck to a specific range of colors, this video may have looked totally different because the vibrant brand colors could have limited how many images or what kind of images I could have placed on top of them. So definitely keep that in mind as well. Now for this one, I want things to be a little bit more structured. So I'm making the images basically the same size. I'm lining everything up just so that it works. And then I'm gonna animate both of the images. I think I'm gonna animate the page itself. I think all the pages are gonna have like a pop animation to it for coming in and going out. And then for the images, I think they'll just also have a pop in and out as well. Okay. Yeah, so they'll both pop in there. Cool beans. Next slide. Okay, so I'm gonna copy these two images and then I'm gonna paste them on the next slide. I'm gonna remove all the animations on these images, and what I'm going to do is create another transition. So there are manual transitions that you can do within this type of video in Canva, and there's also transitions that Canva already provides. We'll get into that a little bit later, but I basically want the page that we're on for the two images to kind of split off screen and have another image coming down so that we can get that kind of choppy movement. So I'm going to go ahead and basically manually move each of these images off screen so they're cut off a little bit. And then I'm going to add in probably a video in the middle. I think I'll do that. Let me crop it so that it is in keeping with my aesthetic. Let me make sure it's centered. Ooh, let me crop it in just a little bit more. Okay. Let me make sure it's centered, and it is. Okay. Okay, cool. So let me slide it up just a little bit. Okay, so we took the animations off the first two images, and so for the video that I want sliding down, I'm gonna add an animation. So when you click on that, you can change the direction of the baseline slide. So it's basically a shift up, shift down, shift side to side. And I want the video to come down. So when I click on that, it changes the entire direction. So in the transitional period, like once we move to the next slide, hopefully it'll show the images splitting and then that video coming down. Now again, we may have to add in a different transition in between those two slides in order to make that movement smoother, but for now we're doing it manually. Okay, so that's good to go. Okay, so we're gonna copy everything and paste it on the next empty slide. Paste it on the next empty slide. Ooh. And then we're basically gonna move the two images that are off to the side. We're gonna move them further off screen till they're almost gone, basically. Gonna move that. And then we're gonna bring that video all the way down. And we're also gonna make it bigger so that it really fits the full stretch, the full range. So that it really fits the full width of the entire page. Okay, I'm just going back to fix a few things. Let me see here. Okay, why are you not centered? You should be. Okay, there we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, now you're centered. Okay, so now that we have that, let me see. We still have the baseline. Let me check. Okay, so now that we moved everything further, again, the two images on the side are not going to have any animations, and then the middle video is going to still have that animation of baseline sliding down. So let's check to make sure that's still a go. Okay, sliding down. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so basically we're going to copy the video and then place it on that next slide. It's in the middle, and we're going to leave the sides blank. Now we're going to be adding in text so that we can introduce the different titles to the different services that we offer, or different taglines that represent the personality of our brand. So because this video that we have in the middle of this slide is a fun, quirky stop motion, the tagline on this sign is going to emphasize the creativity of our stop motion videos. So it's going to say something along the lines of creative ingredient styling. While you're watching the stop motion video, you're literally going to be seeing the ingredients pop in and out. So we're just emphasizing what you're seeing, but also letting the viewer know a service that we provide. So let me go ahead, hit T to add in text. And let's do one word, creative. Now, I don't like this particular font. I need something clunky. So let me look to see what we have. Let's try Anton. I like that. I like Anton. It's kind of big and playful, just like my brand. So we're gonna make it a little bit bigger. I don't like it in black, so let's change this to white because I feel like it's gonna pop a little bit more off this, and it does. Look at that. Okay, so we're gonna pop that right there. Let's copy that and paste it. Holding down the Alt key, you can just basically click and drag. So we're going to call that in creative. Let's say ingredient. Okay, I did spell that. Did I spell it correctly? Ingredient. Look at that. I always spell something wrong. Don't hold it against me. Okay, so we got ingredient, and then the last word that we want to have is styling. So let's oops. Okay, so now we have creative ingredient styling. So let me select everything, and let me go up here to click on position, and I really just want to make sure that everything is aligned, and it is. Okay, cool. So I think I want to just bring this over just so it's centered, and then I'm going to copy this whole thing and bring it over to the side because I want the words on either side. Now, for each of these, I'm going to animate. So I'm going to use, I believe, the bounce animation. So, okay, so let me take the animation off of the video because I want it to stay still. And then for the words, I want them to move. So I'm going to use the bounce animation. Now with this, you can select either the character, meaning each letter is going to move and have that wave transition, or you can just have the word come in and bounce. And I much prefer the wave. So we're going to click on that, and I'm going to have it on enter. Once the word comes in and whips, I want it to stay where it is. I don't want it to move when the whole slide is ready to transition to another slide. So we're gonna put this animation on all of the words. So we're gonna use bounce on enter, and then bounce on enter. And so the whole thing, all three words move in unison. Now it helps to separate the words into their own individual boxes so that you can have more freedom and control to animate them the way that you want. If I had just typed out creative ingredient styling into one main box, it wouldn't move the way I want it to move. On top of that, I'm working with limited space on either side of the video, so that's an easy way to, again, have control over how things are moving within your slides. Okay, so this is cute. Let's move on to the next. Okay, so the next few slides are different colors of my brand color. So these are going to be title cards that list out the different services that we provide if you were to hire us. So we're going to kick it off with creative direction. Let me see, oops. D-I-R-E-C-T-I-O-N, creative direction. Oh, it's on the wrong page, so let me just grab that and move it. Move that down. Make sure it's centered. All you have to do is like drag it until those horizon lines pop in. Let me turn it to white because again, that black is just not popping on my brand colors. So let me make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so we got creative direction. And I think I want this first word to pop, but I don't think I want the other words to move. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a pop on enter. And just leave that the way it is. And I think I want to add pop to the actual page. Okay, it's already on there. Somehow I have left pop on everything. Okay, cool. So it's on there. So I'm going to copy creative direction and then paste it on the next slide, and that's going to say video. Oops. So again, I'm going down the line listing all of my services. So basically when this video plays, like you saw in the beginning, it's going to transition to different colors and it's going to list off really fast the different services. Not too fast to where people can't read it, but just a quick flash of the different services that we offer. So we're going to do video. Make sure there's no animation on that. We're going to copy it, go to the next slide, paste. And then we're going to do stop motion. Okay. Make sure that's centered because I did hit that enter. There we go. Okay, we're going to copy that. Go down to the next slide. And we're going to turn that stop motion into consulting. And these are all the services that I offer. Again, your video does not have to be this long. You do not have to have as many services as I have with my company because I grew these services over time, just like I amassed all this content over time. Start where you are, create a video, see how it does. If it doesn't do great, go back into Canva, redo it, add things to it, and then send it back out. That's all you gotta do. That's really all you have to do. So we have consulting, and then I think I'm gonna end it. Let me copy it on this pink. And then add more plus. So we offer this, we offer that, we offer this and more to keep the people guessing. More plus. Oh, plus more. Let me do the plus and then an exclamation. There we go. Let me add a space between that plus. Okay, plus more. Make sure that's centered, and it is. Cool. Okay, so now we're at page 20, and that is a big blank page. So I think I want a full-size image. So let me go to my images, and I'm going to add in this really nice patterned image, this really nice patterned flat lay. So I'm just going to stretch it throughout the entire page. And there we go. And there we go. Let me see, I think maybe I'll add a pop to it as well. Pop on enter, yeah, I like that. Okay. Okay, so now we're back to where we started. So just like we had in the beginning, we had that yellow graphic in the corner, transitioning throughout the page and then turning everything yellow. We basically want to repeat the process, but then turn that graphic blue so that we can transition to the next brand color. So all you really have to do is just copy the first 2 pages that we did in the very beginning and then paste them on the next few pages. So again, I already have this ready made just so that this video is not 3 hours long. But as you can see, I have that same transition that we had in the very beginning where the blue basically slowly transitions over that white and turns every slide to blue. So that's what we have. The animations are exactly the same, just like we had on the yellow slides earlier in the video. So just copy and paste to save yourself time. Okay, so now that we're in a fully colored blue slide, I want to add in some more images. So let's go back to the Uploads tab and let's add in, I think I'm going to add in some video. I don't want to add in images. We've been on images for a minute, so I think I'm going to add in some hand modeling and then maybe an actual face of a model to also showcase that we do work with models and not just products. Again, this video is like your highlight reel. It's supposed to show your range as well as your quality of work. Now, this is good for me to show because most people product photography based, but we pretty much do everything over here. So I'm gonna have this image a little bit bigger than the one that I posted just to get some range. And I think that's it. I think I'm gonna make this one a little bit smaller just so that it makes sense. Okay. And then maybe I'll make this one a little bit bigger again. Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. And then I'll center it. Cool. So now, ooh, let me center it. Cool, is everything spaced out accordingly? Let me see here. That'll do. Yeah, I think we're good on that. Okay. Making sure that everything is aligned is just a constant struggle for me. Like, things look crooked to me all the time, so I don't want to spend too much time obsessing about that, so I'm just going to leave it as is. Okay, and so for these videos, I think that I want to add some type of animation. So I think for the page itself, I want the animation to be pop because we've been making a lot of our pages pop. So let me go ahead and add that and leave it on both enter and exit. And I think for the first video, I want it to pop as well. Probably just on enter. And then for the model, and then for the video with the model, I think I want that one to wiggle. It's gonna be too much movement. I think I want a baseline slide. So I think I'm gonna change that from pop to baseline. Yeah, I'm gonna have that up, slide up. And so just on enter. So that's a cute, ooh, that's a cute transition. I like that. Okay, so let's move on to the next page. And I think I'm gonna add in more video. So let me go ahead and get to the liquid videography or stop motion. So we got honey, and then we also have like serums. So let me just crop these really quickly. And then I'm gonna move them over. I think I wanna make the honey one bigger because it's more interesting. It's more interesting than the other one. So I'll make that there, and then I'm gonna move this one all the way over here. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, and I think I wanna add text. So I wanna title this Drips and Spills Styling. But I think I want styling to be its own thing. So let me just do drips and spills. And then let me change that font to Anton, which is what we were using earlier. Let me make that bigger, and then let me turn that color to white so it pops. Okay, and we're just gonna lay that over the images, and then we're gonna copy that and we're going to turn that into styling. I think that I want to go ahead and maybe change the size of this title so that I can spread it across the bottom title. And I think I want to go up here to spacing and just space out the letters just a little bit, just so we can stretch it out. Again, there's a lot of things you can do with Canva. I'm not going to go heavily into detail because they're tutorials and everything. But you can change a lot when you're moving around, manipulating the graphics, your text, everything. Okay, so now that we have that drips and spills, I think I'm going to go ahead and add animation to it. So we're going to go ahead and add that bounce, and then we're going to do on enter for both. So let's go ahead and do that as well. Okay, cool. So now we have that. So let's go to the next page. And for this one, I want it to be a full screen of video. So let me go back to the upload. And I think I want this full animation. Let me make it really, really big. Let me just crop it all the way through. Oops. And crop it all the way through to make sure that none of the black borders are showing. So let me stretch that more just so we're in there. Okay, so let's play that to make sure. Let me bring that down just a little bit. Okay, do that test again. Okay, cool, everything is centered. So I think I also want to add text to this video. So I'm going to go back to the first slide that we had just to grab that pre-written out text, and then I'm going to paste it on here, and then I'll change up the color. I think since we're on light purple, I think I'll change this to pink. Yeah, I think that pops really well on that. And then I think the message I want to put on here is storytelling with stop motion. So let's say so let's say storytelling with, and then we'll do another line, and then we'll just have stop motion down here. Storytelling with stop motion. Okay, and so I think what I want to do is, again, make stop motion a little bit bigger. Make the word stop motion a little bit bigger, and then spread out the letters a little bit, just so that both lines can be closer to the same width. Let me change that up just to get a little bit more uniformity. Right in there. I think we're good on that. Yeah, and I think I want to make things just a little bit smaller and then bring them up just a little bit. So yeah, I think we're good on that. And as far as animation, I think I want to keep them both at the bounce animation. Yeah, storytelling with stop motion. I really like that. I like the way that looks. Okay, cool. On to the next series of slides. Okay, so we're basically back at the beginning again, and we're going to repeat those different slides, those different tagline slides. And so this particular one is going to be a series of, again, more services that we offer, or maybe different taglines that represent the brand identity or call outs or call to actions to let the viewer know, again, what services we offer, what experiences you'll gain, or what experiences you'll get when you work with us. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste all those words to those different slides, and then I'll come back. Okay, cool. So we are on to page 31 now. Let's add in a few more images and then we're gonna be done. Again, your video does not have to be as long as this, but I did want to showcase just how intricate my video was and show you how long it actually took to piece it all together. Again, I'm very particular about how I want things to be whenever I'm presenting it out, especially when it's for marketing. So that's just me. Again, your video does not have to be as complicated or as tedious as mine. So learn something from me. But if you're like me and you want yours just as tedious as mine, you have a blueprint, you have a template, you have an explanation, a video to really show you the ins and outs. So good luck to you. Okay, so the next slide, I want to emphasize more about the teamwork. I want to showcase a little bit of the behind the scenes of what goes on during what we work with. I want to add in some human elements to it. I want to showcase some behind the scenes of me or just people in my studio working. So again, the client can see not only finished product, but they can see product being shot in the moment. Okay, and then we have that one there. Uh-oh. Okay, I played the video by mistake. Okay, so let's crop that to a square. And is there a way we can edit this? I believe we can. No, I don't want to edit the video. Ooh, we can cut it down. Okay, let's cut that video down. Let's cut that down to, let's say a few seconds. Yeah, let's cut that down to around, yeah, let's cut it around to a few seconds there. Okay, and then we're done on that. And then for this one, I do want to edit it as well because it's a little bit too long. And so I think I want to bump it down to around that. Yeah, let me change that up as well. Okay, there we go. I think that's cute. Okay, so I think I also might want to add a border to this. So let me click on the border and make it, let's make it around 19 in thickness. And I want to change that to yellow because to me the video was blending in a little bit too much to the backdrop. So I want something to like make it pop. So all you really have to do is click on an image or a video. Again, that toolbar will pop up at the top. There's like a little hamburger series of lines from skinny to wide. Click on that, it says border style, and you can click and select whatever type of border that you want. If you want something full out just a line, if you want something that has dashes or dots. And then there's like a little sliding scale to show you the numbered thickness. Okay. Yeah, and I'm gonna change the arrangement to have one fully at the top, one fully at the bottom. Okay. Oh, and I think I want to add in, I do want to add in a tagline or just a title that says teamwork with, again, another animation of that continued bounce wave feature or wave animation. So let me go ahead and copy that title from the last slide and let's paste it on here. Oops. I think I pasted it at the top. Let me drag it down. And let's just say, we're going to say teamwork. Okay. And then we're just going to add that at the top, make it a little bit smaller because it's a little too big. And I think I'm going to space the lettering out just a little bit to give it some breathing room. And last thing I'm going to do is add that animation to it. So again, click on that lettering, click on that title, click on animation, and then I'm going to go down to the bounce feature. Click on that. I want to make sure that it's on enter. So when the slide opens up, it has an animation and again, it's stopping. And then I want the characters to move. So we have that. For the images, for the video, I want them both to pop. So I'm gonna make sure they pop on enter and then they just stay there. Okay, so for the next slide, we're transitioning into green, which is another one of my brand colors. So I want something a little bit more interesting. So I'm gonna go back to the elements tab and then I'm gonna select that graphic that we used the first time. And I think I'm going to flip it. So let me just flip it horizontally to turn it around. And then I'm gonna angle it. I think I wanna change that color to purple as well, just so it has something to contrast off of that green. And I kinda want like a color blocking situation. So I wanna make it big and then just interesting. So let me rotate it just a little bit. Where's the little feature? Okay. I'm gonna rotate it. Okay, so let's see how that works. Trying to get it to where it's looking like something. Let me flip it around again because it's not working for me. So let me flip it back to vertical. Okay, there we go. Let me just make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Ooh, okay. And let me turn it back just a little bit. Where's the rotator? Okay, so let me see what that looks like. That's cute. That's cute. Let me see how far I can go. Let me make it just a little bit bigger. I like that. Okay, cool. So that is a really good color blocking graphic. And so I want to add, let me bring it down some. So I think at the top of this, I want to add in a title, and then I want to add in 2 more images. So I think since we're coming off of a slide showing the behind the scenes, showing that human element, I think I want to have some images that showcase a model, maybe modeling some skincare or just products in general. So I think I'm going to go to my uploads, go to images, and then, ooh, yeah, I'll get these nice texture shots. Yeah, these are really good. Okay, cool. I like this. Okay. So I think I'm going to make these, just a little bit smaller. Oops. And then grow them just a little bit right in here. Yeah, that's perfect. Ooh, so cute. Okay, and now I need a title. So let me go back up to the initial slide, copy that, and then let me paste that right on here. And I think I want to, since there's texture all over her arm, I think I want to name this Textured Beauty Shots. Textured Beauty. Textured Beauty Shots. Yeah, because this is a mixture. It's texture shots and beauty shots. So that's really cool. Textured Beauty Shots. I like that. Let me make it a little bit smaller, just so it's not overlapping on the purple. All right, so let's go to the next slide. So we're back to where we started with the manual transition of movement of images. So earlier in the video, we had 2 images side by side, and then with each slide, they slowly moved out of frame and another video was coming down. We're basically gonna repeat that process. So what we can do is go back to those higher up frames, copy all those images, and place them on these lower frames, and then replace those images with new ones so that we have at least the lineup or configuration of the images, and then we change the transitions or change the animations on each of those images. So I'm gonna do that and then come right back. Okay, so for the next slide, we are adding in, again, a little bit more behind the scenes, maybe some shots of me as well as the studio, and then I'll maybe have another tagline. So let me go ahead and do that. Let's go back to the video. So let me grab a behind the scenes video of me styling something. And then let me grab the behind the scenes video of my studio. Okay, so we have that. Now let's crop that into a square. And then we're also going to be adding in, again, more borders. So last time we added in yellow borders. So I think we're going to do that for this as well, because the videos come off a little bit dark and I need them to pop off of this pink backdrop. So let's go ahead and add some yellow to this. Okay, let me just change the shape of this bad boy. Okay. Okay, there we go. I'm trying to crop. Okay, there we go. Okay, I was trying to crop the video and it just was not, it was not cooperating. Okay, so let's add that border. Again, we're working with a weight of 19. And then we're using yellow to pop off of this pink. Perfect. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay, cool. A little bit bigger, a little bit off the screen. We're good on that. So for this, I think the tagline is going to be our creative studio. So you're getting a glimpse of what our space looks like, as well as me in action or somebody from my team in action in the studio space. So again, we're still continuing on and further pushing the narrative of who we are, what we do, and how we offer our services. Again, it's your highlight reel. You're showing your potential client everything that goes on in your workspace, how you produce the work that you produce, the personality of your brand, again, so they can understand who you are, what you do, and why you do it. It's all about emphasizing all of those things. I also go by the motto of tell me once, tell me again, tell me for a third time. And by that third time, you really do get it. And so if I'm constantly emphasizing my points, I'm constantly emphasizing my brand identity, my offerings, my vision, my purpose, as well as the range of quality of the content that we produce, by the end of watching that video, my potential client is confident that I'm the person, or my company is the company, to get the job done for them. And that's really what you want. You want your client, the potential client that's looking at your promo video, to feel motivated and comfortable and confident in hiring you. You are showing them that you are the person that they want to hire to get the job done. Okay, ooh, let me make that shorter. Okay. Our creative studio. Cool. Okay, I like that, our creative studio. Now, I think I do want, again, I want to animate these words. So let me, again, use our trusty bounce animation on enter. And I think I want to add the pop feature to each video just on enter for both of them. Okay, so the next slide, we're going to be showcasing some more of our photography. So again, anything on this pink backdrop we wanted to pop. So I'm going to go for some of our images that have a lot of yellow in it. Okay, so I definitely want to go with my image of my yellow socks. Those are always really cute. And then I'm thinking that I want to go with my images of the sunglasses, because it has yellow in the image, but it's not the only color. And all of the colors in this particular image still pop off of this pink backdrop. So I really, really like it. Okay, so I basically am going to be placing the images on either side of the slide to create some kind of like S or Z shape. In those empty sections, I'm going to add text on the top and bottom. So I'm thinking I'm going to add engaging e-commerce, and at the bottom, made easy. So I'm still emphasizing what we do and the ease of it, so that, again, you're reassured when you're watching our video. Let me just copy the tagline from the last slide that we did so that I don't have to go back and find that font. And then I'm going to basically place them in the sections that I want words. And what did we say earlier? Engaging e-commerce. I think I want to say engaging. Engaging. Engaging e-commerce, that's a little big, so let me bring that down. Engaging e-commerce, and I'll say made easy. Yes, okay, and I just want to change the size of these images to kind of give more room and also take away some of this extra negative space. Okay, that's cute. Again, so we're going to continue on with adding the animation to the titles. I want to make sure that everything is consistent throughout the entire video. So again, everything's going to have that bounce feature. And then for the images, I think instead of them bouncing in, I think I want to have them slide in and out using the baseline animation. So let me remove that pop, and I'll have one image sliding coming from the bottom and one image coming from the top. So let me go find that baseline. Let me click on that. And I want to make sure that's on enter and have that one coming in. And then the other one, let me remove that animation and again place that baseline on it on enter and then have it sliding down. Yeah, that's really cute. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so now we're at another section of this video where we're going to be repeating the same slide transition animation that we did previously. Now, earlier I mentioned, repeating that same transition where two images are on the side, they move to either side of the slide, and then one image slides down and basically eliminates the two. And a series of text pops up on either side of that image. So this particular transition is going to be the same, but instead of that video coming from the top, it's going to be coming from the bottom. So it's that same transition in reverse. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to speed through that as well, just again, so that you don't have to sit through that entire process, because you can just simply copy and paste what you created above, bring it down to the slides that you want to utilize, and then just switch up the animation. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. Okay, so now we're back at a familiar space in the video. We're going to be adding a few more call to action and service cards that again call out to what we do and how we do it, and even little taglines that represent our brand personality. So again, we could always go back to the slides that we created earlier, copy those and paste them just so that we won't have to do too much. But I'm going to go ahead and quickly create those tabs, and then I'll come back. Okay, so now that we're back, I went ahead and created about 4 more slides. And so those slides consist of video editing, image retouching, prop sourcing, and custom brand assets. And so again, these are emphasizing what you get when you work with us. When you're constantly reiterating things in the video and then mixing that with different visuals from imagery to video, like, it really does help fill in the gaps and really does make the video, the entire promo video, just feel well-rounded and entertaining. I also go by the motto of tell me once, tell me again, tell me for a third time. And by that third time, you really do get it. And so if I'm constantly emphasizing my points, I'm constantly emphasizing my brand identity, my offerings, my vision, my purpose, as well as the range of quality of the content that we produce, by the end of watching that video, my potential client is confident that I'm the person, or my company is the company, to get the job done for them. And that's really what you want. You want your client, the potential client that's looking at your promo video, to feel motivated and comfortable and confident in hiring you. You are showing them that you are the person that they want to hire to get the job done. Okay, so we only have a few more pages to go. We're on page number 45 now. And I think I just want, again, a wide shot of a really nice dynamic image. So I'm gonna go down to one of my landscape images and then stretch it out. So yeah, so we have that, and then I'm gonna add in a tagline that maybe talks about our set design and styling. Okay, let me bring that up. And that tagline is gonna say set design and prop styling. Yeah, I think that's good. set design, plus, and then we're going to create another one that says prop styling. Okay, so let's minimize these because they're just a little bit too big. I'm going to add in again that animation of the bounce so that each letter comes in really smooth with that wave. That's one of my favorite animations. So we're going to select bounce on enter and we're good to go on that. Okay, so for the next slide, we're going to do another graphic color block. So what I'm going to do is go back up to the slide that we created the first time, and I'm going to copy that graphic because I don't really want to go through the hassle of resizing, turning, twisting. I just want it easy. So I'm just going to go back up there and grab it and then paste it on this current slide. And there we go. Done and done. And so for this page, I think we're just going to add in a few images to kind of create like a small collage, like a small little gallery, just to toss in more images, again, to show variety and then range within our portfolio. So I think we're going to go to the uploads tab, and then we're going to go ahead and show some images that showcase our food styling, as well as like our flower arrangement projects, to again showcase the ingredients. Let me crop some of these in. Okay, cool. So we have a good range here. We have food styling, we have floral arrangements, we have supplements, and then we also have apparel. So I think that's a really good variety of items or images or content that we haven't yet shown in this video yet. So let me just start rotating and playing around with these images, and then I'll come back once I have the final look, because this part can be a little bit tedious as well. I want everything to be sized correctly and then have just the right tilt. And I also may add like a drop shadow just to kind of pull them off of the background a little bit. Okay, cool. So to add in a drop shadow, all you have to do is select an image and then click the edit button. And once you click the edit button at the top toolbar, a second window will pop to the side, and then you just have to scroll down and click this shadow button. And you have different types of shadows like drop shadow, glow, outline, all of that. I think I'm just gonna choose a cute drop shadow. And as soon as you click it, it already has an example of the first default drop shadow, and I think I'm just gonna stick with that. I don't really wanna take too much time dealing with this, so I'm just gonna leave that be and just accept what it's given me. I think I want to add my little pink graphic that we had at the very beginning to it over here in this little empty corner. So let me go back to elements, and then we pick that little graphic there, and let me turn it this way just to kind of fill in that space, and then I'm going to turn that to a pink color to pop off of that yellow. And I think for everything on this page, excluding the backgrounds, I think I want them to kind of wiggle, I believe. Okay, so I'm gonna basically select all of the images. I'm gonna make this entire page pop so that everything works in unison. And I think for the graphic, I want it to wiggle. Yeah, I think that's cute. Okay, cool. Okay, y'all, so we're almost done. Oh my goodness. Okay, cool. So I want to pop in 2 more images that really showcase our range and creativity, as well as like the intricacy of like some of our sets. So I think I want to toss in this really fun bubblegum image that we captured, as well as, again, another floral arrangement mixed in with some purse photography. Just to show, again, just that range, and then just that fun, quirky appeal to how we love to style things. Okay, so I think I need to add in a tagline. So let me go up here and to the last slide that we had a tagline on and just copy it and paste it on this current one. So we're pasting it. Let me put that in this negative space up here. And also let me minimize it just a little bit because it's a little too big. Okay, and let me also bring down the size of this image just a little bit. I want a healthy balance of just text and imagery. Okay, and I think I'm gonna just kind of stagger them just to give, again, just to have a little bit more dimension. And so this tagline is going to say show stopping custom images, which is what they are. Show stopping custom images. Again, to drive that message home. So yeah, it's not this, again, this may seem very tedious and it may seem redundant, but I always want to emphasize that my services are here to make your life easy. So again, the messaging that you want to have in your videos needs to be hitting those pain points. And so typically when clients come to me for video or photography services for product alone, they're already overwhelmed, it's complicated, they don't know where to start. So the fact that they have me and my team to take over all of their workload to make their lives easier is a major plus to them. So again, that's something that I definitely want to emphasize in the video that I'm creating. Okay, so second to last slide. I think I'm gonna have one more stop motion video. And that's gonna be the purse, like a hand coming in to put something in a purse. And then I want the tagline to be, we've got this in the bag, meaning we gonna take care of you. We got this, you know. It actually worked out great that I had this video because I was looking for a way to really end this promo video in a really cute type of quirky way. So I remembered that I had this stop motion video of a purse and a hand coming in to place something in the purse. And just that action alone, with the title of We've Got This in the Bag, is a really cute way to kind of end everything about the video. This is actually my favorite part of the video because ending things in the right way or ways that feel good to me is something that I really do enjoy. And so because I had this particular video plus a cute tagline to end it, just really tied it all together. And it's one of my favorite things. Okay, so let me copy these taglines and then I'm gonna paste it. I'm going to paste it onto this. Oops. And say we've got, got this. Okay. We've got this, and then we're going to say this one in the bag, exclamation point. Now, I think I want to make this a little bit smaller. Oh, okay, I want to bring this in just a little bit. Ah, there we go. Okay. I'm going to go make that video just a little bit bigger, turn it into like a landscape, and then center it so we have more space to work with. So I'm going to put that tagline over here in the corner just so it's out of the way of the animation. That's cute. Okay, we've got this in the bag. And again, I'm going to add that animation to these taglines. I want to make sure it has that bounce effect. That's so cute. Okay, so the very last page is going to be a gallery page, basically of all of the images and video that you saw within the entire promotional video. Now, I don't really remember what this template is called, but this is a gallery template page. And in order to find something similar to this, all you have to do is go to the design tab in Canva at the top left. When you click on it, it'll show you, and scroll down, it'll show you different templates that you can click and use. So it just really depends on what you're interested in. It'll even have like little title sections where you can type in whatever words you want to overlay over that gallery. Now, I just saved this one. I just saved mine from the actual video because when I went back to try to find this for you guys, I could not find it. So it's gonna take a lot more searching to find it. So if I do find the name of it, I'll put it in the description below so that you can have that and be able to search for it and use this particular one that we're using. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and just add in the video and images so that you can see what it looks like as I'm building it so that we can quickly get through this video. Okay, so let's see here. So let's add this video right here. And again, once you hover over, once you click an image and hover over these little image windows, it'll quickly pop into each section and crop perfectly. So you don't really have to do much. It's a lot of dragging and dropping. So I think I want to cover all of the video. So I'm thinking Since I'm on the video tab, I'm just gonna go grab all the video that I have and then just place them sporadically so that I don't have to go back and forth between the image in the image section and the video section. So let me just hurry up and do this really quickly. Let me see, what else do I have here that I can work with? Ooh, how about that one? Let's do that. And let me see here. Ooh, let me add this one here. Okay, so I think I want to add in the images now. So let me go to the images tab and then see where we are. So let's see here. So let me go ahead and, let me go to elements so I can get like a cute little block. Okay, make sure it's centered. Where's the center? There we go. Okay, and then I want to make it a little bit slimmer and then stretch it out. And I think because I have a lot of yellow in this backdrop, I want this color to be pink. Yes. And then I want to add the tagline in there. And I wanted to say, let's create some magic for your brand, you know, because the whole video I've been building up the whimsy. I've been showcasing, again, my talents, my range, our team, our space, all of that. And so the ending tagline is like, okay, now that you've seen the magic that we can create for other people, let's create some magic for your brand. So that's how I want to end the video. So we have, let's create some magic for your brand, exclamation point. I want to make sure everything is centered. I could grab the text as well as the box and then go straight to the toolbox at the top, hit position, and then center it to make sure that the text is not only centered in the page, but it's centered within the box that I have it placed in. And so for this, I think I want the whole entire page to stay still, and I think I want the text to pulse, bounce, as well as have that wave feature going on with the animation. Yeah, I really like that. Okay, and so the last thing that I want to add is one final tagline to kind of end the whole video. And so I have the final slide saying schedule your call today. And you can either have this or your logo show up at the end. I prefer to have something like this, like schedule your call today, because this right here is a call out to let them know, hey, don't forget to contact us. After watching this very entertaining, very engaging promo video, give us a call, set up a meeting with us, and let's get you booked. You definitely want some type of tagline in your video or maybe at the very end, just to kind of bring everything home so that your viewer can understand their next step of what they need to do after watching your very engaging video. Okay, so now that we finished putting together all of the slides, the next thing you want to do is go back to the thumbnail view of all of the different slides, and then you can add different transitions to each thing so that they can move more fluidly. So when you click on one of the frames, all you have to do is click on the little dotted line that pops up in the top right corner of each frame. There'll be a section on the pop-up toolbar that says change transition. So once you click on that, the transitions window will pop up and you can hover over each block to see what the transition looks like for each different slide. So you can play around with that, figure out where you want to put it, and then mix and match and view your video to see how that looks. Now, the next thing that you can do once you figure out whatever transitions you want to work with is adding music to your video. Now, in order to find music to add to your video in Canva, all you have to do is click on the Elements button in the top left corner. Once you click on that, you basically select Music. That'll be under the tab. And then you can type in, let's say type in pop songs. And then under that, it'll be a range of things. So if you just want to click audio, it'll give you all different audio sounds. And I believe that Canva collaborates with Epidemic Sound, so there's a good amount of music to choose from. Most of the audio on here ranges from 1 to 3 minutes, maybe even 6 minutes, but you'd have to scroll through it and really figure out what you want. Again, this video is all about showcasing the personality of your brand, so the music needs to match up with that just so that everything is understood with the viewer in mind. You can also search for sound effects as well. So at the very beginning of my video, there's a click sound, there's a pop sound, and then there's like a sparkly sound just to kind of finish it all off, and then like a whoosh sound when everything leaves. So those are little things that you can add to your video after you get all of the details down with the transitions, the content, all of that. Now, I'm not gonna go too deep into that because again, this video is already too long, but I did want to show you where you can find that content and how you can play around with it. So definitely take your time sifting through all that music. Believe me, it took me a very long time before I found the perfect song for my video. So I know it's gonna take y'all a little bit of time as well. So now that we have our finished video, we've selected the music and we've added in our taglines and sound effects, I'm gonna play this video one more time for you to see, and then we're gonna get up out of here. Okay, y'all, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. This was a long video, but I do hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Again, I cannot stress this enough. You do not need to make your video as long and as tedious as mine. There's a reason why I created my video the way that I did, and I'm very happy with it. But again, do not feel the need to copy me exactly. And also, if you're watching this video and you're realizing that you're not yet ready to make a video because you don't have enough content, please do not be discouraged. It took me years just to get to this point to have something to put in the video. I'm not saying it's gonna take you years, but take some time and create your own personal project so that you have some content to put in. You just need something cute, something colorful, something engaging, and something that represents you and your services. So definitely think outside of the box. Use my video as an example, as a template, or just some motivation to figure out how to do it yourself on your own terms in your own way. If you have any questions about anything that I've done, or if you want to know a little bit more about things that I did not discuss about Canva or the entire build out of the video, feel free to hit me up in the comments below. If you like this video, please like this video. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And yeah, guys, that's all for now. If you want to see what this video looks like on my website, definitely check the description below. There is a link to that just so you can see where I've placed it and how it looks, so that you can get an idea of where you want to place this video on your website after you finish building it. If you do use this template, or if you do watch this video and decide to build your own video, definitely let me know in the comments. Show me where it is. I would love to come and check it out. If you have any questions, again, like I said, hit me up in the comments. And yeah, that's all I have to say for this video. Until next time, y'all. Bye.